Hey everyone, welcome back to Orcs Must Die 2. In this episode, we're going to be taking on Upstairs Downstairs. After last episode, I went back and 5-starred corridors. I just used the same strategy, I just didn't die at the very end like I did in the last episode. And I want to talk about, this is a really unorthodox set of traps we're bringing. I have a really weird combination and very strangely distributed upgrades that I spent because we don't have a lot of skulls. And I'll explain each of these traps and what they're going to do and why we're using the strategy we are once we get in the map. So, let's start.
Why are you reopening the rifts? I had everything under control.
Without magic to bring the rains, there will be no harvest next year. Children will starve. Famine, disease, horrors beyond imagining. Is that your definition of under control?
No, but hello? Starving orcs eating starving children ain't that great either.
He does have a point.
Hush. And you not betrayed the order, we could have held back the orcs for centuries.
Excuse me, I just burped. Okay, so let's put the traps together that we're going to be using real quick. Whoops. Okay. Decoy. Okay. And then we have two new enemies in this one. We have the fire ogres, which are they're identical to ogres, except they're resistant to fire. It says they're immune to fire, but they actually just have a really high resistance. They still take a little damage from fire, but it's not very much. They're basically immune to it. But they're also weak to frost damage, which is going to help because we have the Sice Amulet. And then we have the Frost Ogres, which are the counterpart to Fire Ogres. They're very resistant to ice, but they're weak to fire. Other than that, they're exactly like normal orcs. So, let's talk about this really weird set of traps we have. We have barricades that are a given, but then we have steam traps, which we haven't seen yet. We have tar traps that are completely unupgraded because I don't know if we're going to use very many. Barricades are talked about. Decoys, which...
Whoa, it's like looking in a mirror.
We just put one down. It's a very lifelike recreation of the War Mage in his get-up from the first game. Strapped to a bomb, or a boom barrel, whoops, and enemies will attack it, and it'll slowly run out of health and it explodes whenever it dies. We have an upgrade that makes it to where enemies that attack it get chilled or frozen sometimes. We have floor scorchers, which have I shown off floor scorchers? I don't know. I don't know if I've shown floor scorchers. Arrow walls, which I've been using since the beginning. Boom barrel dispensers, which we unlocked in the last level. And then grinders, which we also have not seen yet. So, first off, let's talk about this map, because I mentioned in the last one, this is a tough map. You saw the lineup for enemies. It's pretty intimidating, especially considering we have two new types of ogres that we need to deal with. And now, we have two doors right here on a symmetrical map, and there's a rift right here. So they have to walk a very short distance to get to this rift. But while some enemies may go from this door straight to this one, or vice versa, some enemies will come out of the doors and go up these stairs, all the way around here, to this rift. So we have two rifts we need to watch. This map is a mess. There's about 1,000 different things going on at any given moment, really, on this map. But one thing we can do to make our lives easier is barricade off one of these stairwells.
Get it? Traps?
So if an enemy wants to come out of this door and go up here, they're going to have to walk all the way across here and go up these stairs. because the orcs, they're very tunnel visioned. So if they spawn and they want to go for that upstairs rift, they're gonna come around and come through here, and they're not gonna notice this rift right here. So they're gonna continue. They're gonna continue on their path up to that one. They don't change which rift they go for at any point, no matter what. So even if we barricaded off over here, they would just attack the barricades instead of just going for this rift. But what we want to do, because they don't have very far to walk once they spawn, what we want to do is kill them as soon as possible. And if you notice, we have access to the floor, some walls, and even the ceiling here, right in front of the gate. And that's exactly where we're going to set up.
Let's open up those ports.
So we're going to put these steam traps here. What they do is whenever an enemy walks over them, the steam traps activate, and they just kind of shoot up a gust of wind, like a really strong gust of wind up into the air, and orcs will hover in the air at about this level right here off the ground while it's active. So enemies will just get stuck in this area, and that's when we're going to be killing them. And we want to put a thing of tar right there, and a decoy right there. So enemies are going to be stuck in this area for as long as possible, ideally. And while they're here, we want to maximize the damage we're doing, so we're going to put floor scorchers, arrow walls, and by the way, I got the special upgrade that I mentioned for arrow walls that allows us to put them on the ceiling. So we'll be putting arrow walls there too. Now we're also going to have grinders on this level, because if an enemy walks over this one, they're going to get shot up into the grinder, and grinders are going to do a lot of damage to them. And we're also going to have boom barrel dispensers.
Like a vending machine of death.
And they're not going to activate now, but during the wave, they will just sort of pop out a boom barrel, and then whenever it falls and hits the ground over here, it'll automatically explode. So that'll give us even more damage going on in this entire kill zone. And we'll just be plastering more traps on this as we go to deal as much damage as possible. And we also, the unique upgrade we have on the arrow walls is the frost arrows that chill enemies. So we have the, oh, I got really disoriented there. So we have floor scorchers for the frost ogres, we have this for the fire ogres, as well as our ice amulet. And we're just going to have to be ready to defend that door with whatever money we get. I'm going to go ahead and sell that. And, I don't think we need that tar right there. We're going to save a little bit of money just so we're not completely defenseless on this side. I'll go ahead and put these down. Put them down. That'll be good. I just want to make sure we're not completely defenseless over there for next wave. So, let's go.
Stabbing tough.
This is the point in the game where, for me, the difficulty really kicks in. Oh, and these orcs have shields, by the way, which means, like, the shields sort of absorb one attack for the orcs. So they basically just get, like, a little bit of extra health. So you can see they're attacking the decoy.
That's a lot of dead orcs.
And they're just getting stuck in this area for longer because they're focusing the decoy, which is what we want. We want them to
like
be
a nice medium rare
in this little kill zone right here for as long as possible.
Keep it coming.
Just so they can't go very far. Because like I said, this is a really short path to the rift. Don't worry, one of the future levels is going to have an even shorter path. It's like practically right next to the rift. I believe, not the next level, but the level after that is going to be that one. Okay. So far, not so bad. Just a bunch of little normal orcs. Nothing too crazy.
They'll like this one.
Let's put some tar there, just so enemies are slowed more.
It's killing time.
And I guess we can. Oh, we got a fire ogre over there, which means, yep, we have a frost ogre over here. So we want to focus this frost ogre. So you can see he took a ton of damage from the floor
That
scorchers
was awesome.
because they're very weak to fire. And if I were to shoot this guy with this, that actually didn't do a whole lot of damage just because we kind of nicked him with it. So they destroyed the decoy over here, so we're going to want to place that back down. And I think I want to go ahead and put one boom barrel dispenser right there. We'll see it in action in just a second. Oh yeah, that's right. There's sappers on this too. Which, the decoys will act as good distraction fodder for the sappers as well, because decoys are treated like war mages, so the sappers will focus them, which unfortunately means if we don't kill the sappers fast enough, the decoy's going to get destroyed and we're going to have to build another. Oh, I think the enemies are starting to go for this closer rift right here now.
There has to be some sort of record.
Fortunately, it's not a huge deal, just because they're still fairly weak enemies. Let's put grinder in. Let's get that.
Let's go.
Now they're going to start coming up here. Oh, I missed. Okay, we're good. They didn't manage to take this decoy. The decoy's going to regen its health too, which is really helpful. Because we weren't able to upgrade them very much at all, actually. We just got the unique. So they don't have a whole lot of health.
Now, how many was that? Nah, who cares? Nice.
So far so good. Nothing too bad yet. Let's start putting some traps up over here too.
Multi-boom.
So yeah, there's a good example of the boom barrel dispenser at work. It's slow recharge, but it's gonna be some decent passive damage. I forgot how far enemies get sent. So we want to deal with this guy quick, because we got another ogre over there, and we're not going to be able to use the ice amulet on him. Fortunately, we have the blunderbuss, which can just completely cheese this. Just,
Is that it? Just add orcs and blend.
Okay, so let's get their arrow on either side. Let's just do the tar traps.
Treat time.
The kobolds coming out over here. Let's deal with them, just so they don't sneak by. They got. Oh, jeez, no.
Sappers fighting in.
Don't know which side the sapper's coming in on. The community side.
I live for mass orc killing.
And rip that decoy. Let's put another
A
one
treat
down.
for you.
Okay. Excuse me.
Treat time.
Oh yeah, let's go over on this one. Get the kobolds, and then let's run over here.
Watch out, sappers! It's more fun when you kill them all at once.
So this one's going by pretty quick. It's a pretty short level.
Is that all you got?
It's just, you can get very easily overwhelmed if you're not prepared.
This is gonna hurt me
for
more
this
than it
map.
hurts you. No,
Just
wait,
because it's
other way
so
around.
small.
Oh, it's about to get
Not
real.
quite. Okay, let's run over here quickly.
Now that's killing with style.
I'm just waiting for the enemies over there to start spawning, really. I figured they would have started spawning.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Okay. I figured enemies would have started coming out of that door after. Let's put that there. It's also... just because we might as well, since we have the money now. It's also, we can't quite get one over there.
Street time.
I think we got sappers coming out of both ends. Oh geez, we don't have enough for a decoy. Crap. Let's put one right there. Quickly run over here.
Kill streak. Yes.
Okay. Crisis averted. Except they killed this decoy too. Really wish I could have had enough skulls to get the more decoys.
Dibs on the orcs. Now that's killing with
Let's deal with
style.
him. Let's run over here. This guy.
I live for mass orc killing.
Okay, let's run over here.
Best job ever.
It's just kind of back and forth. Oh. Okay, I didn't realize. Okay, whoops.
Ooh, shiny. Keep it coming.
Okay. Note to self: boom barrels get destroyed by grinders. So that explains why I haven't been
Yes.
seeing them.
Kill streak.
Let's stay over here.
Check out that pop.
Okay, and then we got two ogres. One of each coming out on both sides. I just whipped all those grenades. Okay, the fire ogre over there is dead. Still gonna do it with frost ogre. Oh, hello. Okay, so I think we're good. Yep, this is the last wave, and this is the last ogre. It's just, she's him, and there we go. So that level is pretty short, especially compared to the last one we did. But it can be pretty overwhelming. That's why I like to set up at the doors just immediately, just to outright kill everything before they get a chance to spread out too far. Because you can have enemies coming from either door going upstairs and downstairs, hence the name of the map. And you can get really easily overwhelmed. So we get the Flame Bracers, which is another spell. It's kind of like the counterpart to the Ice Amulet. Which I don't know. Yeah, I'll show it off in the next one. Because the next one, I believe, is my least favorite map in the game. This is not an easy level, and we're probably going to have another strange strategy going for this one. But that's going to be it for this level, and this episode, which is what I meant to say. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.